Welcome to Smart's Culinary. We've got lots to get through today. We've got a busy day. To start my class, I'm going to go quickly first, and then JP will go after me. All right. So first of all, today we're making chicken kebabs. Okay, I'm going to briefly show you how to put a chicken kebab together. All right, I've made one here ready. What we did, you can put these in the oven or you can put them in the pan. Either one is fine. If you use wooden sticks, just wet your sticks before. Okay, so I'm just going to start quickly. I'm going to put the chicken. I'm going to put some red onion, pepper, chicken again, maybe zucchini. It doesn't have to be in uniform, just keep doing it. You can put them in the oven for about 350, or you can put them on the stove top, make sure it's cooked to 165 degrees. So I'm going to spread that up and show you. Right, I'm going to put this on our griddle pan. As you can see, we have a couple there cooking. So I'm going to put that one on there right now. As I said, you can do them in the oven, but I prefer to do them this way. I like the lines in the meat. I'm going to quickly wash my hands so we can go to do the next one. So just give me a second.
Yeah, always remember, like, especially if you're working with the poultry, for the uncooked chicken, you have to make sure to, like, everything in your cutting board, once you assemble your skewers, are not going to be, has to be clean. And then you clean your, of course, like Sam did, okay?
Okay, so now I'm going to make a drizzle. Okay, for the skewers, we're going to do Greek style. So we're going to use a little bit of olive oil. We're going to use a clove of garlic. I have some fresh parsley here. I'm going to stick that in. It's all chopped and ready. For time consuming, obviously. We're not going to use salt and pepper because we have some Greek olive here that I can't pronounce the name. I'll let JP do that for you.
Kalamata.
Okay. Kalamata. There you go. I get a little tongue tied when I say it. All right, so now we've got a lemon. I'm going to squeeze some lemon in there. Get the lemon all the way down, get all the juices from it. Yeah, so these olives are very salty, so you definitely do not need to put a lot of salt in there.
Look how fast that is.
Yeah, that's right. So you could use this as a drizzle. Okay, so you have the drizzle over there. Now I just want to go over what the finished product. I made a platter this morning with the plate. So you
wow, look at that, beautiful.
Okay, so you have, I toasted up some, what they call, JP?
The pita bread.
Pita bread, there you go. Pita bread.
Whole wheat pita bread.
Yeah, whole wheat pita bread at that. It's all whole wheat. There's your skewers, they're all ready. I grilled some tomatoes because you do get pectin from cooked tomatoes. Tzatziki sauce. I made a tzatziki sauce as well because I love tzatziki and it's a good thing to have with the skewers. I'm going to use the drizzle and the tzatziki sauce. We have the recipe on this that we did a while ago. It is on the Smart University page, so please look it up if you want to know how to make the tzatziki sauce. As a matter of fact, I'll post it again so you keep in mind. Also, I want everyone to keep in mind, it's really important to keep hydrated. Today, I made our flavored water. I made pineapples, blackberries, and cucumber for our water.
That's okay, great.
So that is our thing. I'm going to show you exactly what see if we've got the lines in the, see if we got the lines coming through from the grill pan. As you can see, not quite yet, they're not quite ready, but they've just started to get a little bit. So I'm going to continue cooking them while we're on the live. And that's it.
And I suggest also you have the option, just as they're finishing cooking in the grill pan, like Sam has there, you can, in the moment they start finishing, you can add a little bit of the drizzle into them to get a little more flavor. So that you could do that, or you could do them once you had it out on a plate and then you drizzle it on top with your spoon. very quickly.
Okay, perfect.
And then you can still add on for that tzatziki, because I can eat tzatziki with anything. Too.
Perfect. All righty, so your turn, JP.
Great, thank you. That looks amazing. Look at that. And look how beautiful with all the other vegetables. So that's encouraging. So you can have in your plate a little bit of the whole wheat pita. Then you get one of these skewers, and you can get it with like some of those grilled tomatoes and some onions. That's feta cheese, right?
Yeah, it's feta. I know.
Yeah,
I've been using. We've used feta a couple of times. I did give a suggestion of goat cheese, but feta just goes with this this recipe. So I was like, one more time.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. If they grow together, they go together, right?
Exactly.
So
there you go.
Okay, great. I love it. So now from Greece, we're going to travel to Spain. What we're going to do here, we're going to do a soup. It's a Spanish soup. It's this is, you know, that Sam, the skewers that Sam showed were very summery. It's great for an outdoor eating or for simple cook with not a lot of cooking time. Well, this one has no cooking time. This is going to be, it's a cold soup. You may have heard it before. Maybe you've tried it. It's called Gazpacho. There's actually very different types of recipes of Gazpacho in Spain. And actually, I saw recently, the New York Times, I guess a couple of weeks ago, had a version that I've never seen from Portugal, which has basically the same ingredients, but just like more, instead of blended, chopped, which why not? So I'm going to show you. So these are my ingredients. Gonna start showing you. We have the traditional recipe for these has tomatoes. Just really, actually, very few tomatoes. Look at these ones. These are, if you see them in the market, because right now it's the season for tomatoes. August is tomato month. They're going to be cheaper in the farmer's market, even in the market. So you should definitely try them. This is a yellow tomato. You can have a combination. I'm going to do. I'm just going to take these out. The other is cucumbers. I have these Persian mini cucumbers, but you can use any other cucumber. 1 clove of garlic. This is actually big, but I like garlic. So just like that. And then a couple of peppers. I have, if you have a yellow, you have, I have red and green. I'm going to use those. And some red onion. Oh, you could use regular onion. Now, because you know me, I like to add more nutrients to any dish. So this is not going to be an exception, right? So, oh, the other ingredient that I have is some sort of old stale bread. I have these multigrain with like seeds. I think it's caraway seeds. So that's fine. I toasted it. I didn't need it. You know, it's actually crunchy. So you want that. It's going to go all of it into the blender. It's going to be easy, but anyway. So actually, I'm going to have my blender here, and I'm going to start putting this bread. But I'm going to show. It's the fun part of this is you're not going to see the blender right there, but I'm going to show you now the prepping, which is really easy. See if you can see it there. I think a little better. Okay, so the fun part is, remember I always like to use serrated knives for the tomatoes, but it could be anything. But anyway, so you're just gonna quarter these tomatoes. You don't need to cut them. You don't need to peel them, and you're gonna be putting them in the blender. I just take the ends off. I can put them like that, and then quarter it. Done. Depends how many you're doing. This is also a good dish that you can do ahead of time. Put it in the refrigerator and let it go. The whole garlic clove, actually it's quite big. I'm gonna do like a big piece like that. But you remember, this is gonna be raw. It's not cooked. You're gonna blend it and it's gonna be ready to go. So that's why if this may be a little bit strong, the garlic, this is the raw garlic. You see how juicy that tomato looks? The yellow one that I cut. Sometimes these are called heirloom tomatoes. They're different kinds. They look like a plum actually, but they are, you could do them just in salads anyway. So the tomatoes, the only thing is the tomatoes, they're all gonna be fully pureed in it. That's the base of the soup. And as I mentioned earlier, I had 2 small pieces of bread that are gonna go also into our blender. Just cut a couple of them. Now, cucumbers. So from the rest of the ingredients, some of them you're gonna put in the blender. Some of them you're going to actually dice and we're gonna be putting them in our bowl, okay? So in this case, if you wanna make it a little pretty, you can do a little strips of your cucumber and then dice it. That's fine. These cucumbers, the Persian ones, their skin is so thin and so light, you don't need to do this, but just for presentation, you could. And then because they're so small, so I do like cut them in quarters. So literally I get one of the quarters and put it in the blender, and the other, I'll just go like that, dice, and start putting it in my bowl. Because you're gonna have basically two textures for the soup. Same thing with this other cucumber. Get one of the quarters and goes directly into our blender. And the other one, this might be a little bigger. So just dice them into bite-sized pieces and put it in your bowl, all right? Now, same thing we're gonna do with our peppers. So what I like about this one is, you've seen me cut the pepper, you keep the top and the bottom part like that. Make sure you do not have any seeds in here. So I take a little bit of this white part, obviously the stem I'm not gonna use, but these top and bottoms, directly like that, go into the blender, okay? And now for this one is when you've seen it, we unfurl it like this, and we take out the inner part, discarded, so no seeds. You see no seeds or very little seeds in our cutting board. And now these ones I can just slice into strips, and then again for the dicing that is going to go into our bowl. All right, it really takes no time. And so you're gonna have like those really good textures. So I was saying, what other ingredients I'm gonna add into this that are not traditionally used in the original Spanish recipe. So in this case, I'm gonna do some carrots. So if you see here, I have some baby carrots. These ones, you'd have the option, chop some and put some in the blender. I'm gonna put them, this handful, in the blender. And now we're gonna do, again, the onion. I'm gonna dice a little bit. I'm not gonna use all of it, maybe do like about half. So actually, you can do this part, I can just cut in just large pieces and add it into my blender. So this is like half a small onion. And then this one we're gonna dice. Relatively small, again, bite size. If you have a red onion, white onion, it's fine too. Red onions are a little sweeter. That's why, especially for salads, not only they look pretty, but also they're a little sweeter. If you've never had what they call Vidalia onions, those are from Georgia. They are really sweet. Some people like eat them raw, which is nothing wrong with that. They're really sweet. So here you go. You can even have the little odds and ends from the onion, put it in your blender, and this one goes into our bowl. Okay, so that's the onion. Now the red pepper, same thing. Cut top, bottom, remove the stem, and those odd ends go directly into the blender, and then cut these ones to do strips. Unfurl your pepper. If you get a little strip like this, just with your hands.
I love the way you do that pepper.
It's
so
really
good.
convenient. Just practice it.
Yeah.
Practice it if you have peppers. It's really good, and it makes it easy, and so you don't have a lot of seeds in your cutting board. The seeds can be a little bit bitter, So
Yeah.
you don't want them as much. If you want to make it this a little spicy, by the way, you can add a jalapeno, diced jalapeno, or a little bit of jalapeno without the seeds maybe, into the blender. Same thing if you like a little spice. Now, so there's a pepper for, so that's one of the ingredients that I mentioned. Carrots is the one we added. Remember, the carrot's going to add a little bit of sweetness to this dish. If the tomatoes are in season like right now, they're going to be pretty sweet and really very ripe and nice. So this is great. Also, make sure you can do a big batch of this and just keep it in the refrigerator, and you can eat it in like a couple days. Show you now how our blender is with all the odds and ends of it. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to this. That's going to help. And then it's about maybe not even 2/3 of a cup. Then you can season it with a little bit of salt, like a teaspoon. Actually, we're gonna put not too much salt because just like Sam was doing earlier, I also have some Kalamata olives. So I'm gonna actually add a few of these in it for flavor. They are all pitted, so make sure they're pitted. You don't wanna blend a pit of an onion. I'm putting like a small handful, maybe 4 or 3. And then it's your option of what vinegar you have. You're gonna use a little bit of oil and a little bit of vinegar. I have balsamic in here. You can use red wine, apple cider vinegar. The one that is traditionally used for this recipe is sherry vinegar. It's also a Spanish vinegar. So you can use it. I'm gonna use about a tablespoon of the balsamic. I'm adding it there. And then about a tablespoon of olive oil. It's not a lot. So we added in, and some, see my blender here. Right, okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper. I like pepper. If you added the jalapeno, you may also like a little less pepper. And then the other ingredient I'm gonna do, but not in the blender, is a little bit of red cabbage. So a little goes a long way. So actually, I'm just gonna, if you see here, can you see? Yeah. So I'm just gonna actually cut, you see that's very little slices, but the thing about it is gonna provide a little bit of texture, also crunch to it. And of course, this is a great way to also add some more fiber to your dish. And the crunch, so you can just rough chop this. And then you're going to put it in your bowl. I'm going to show you the bowl now, what it all has. So here's my bowl with all the ingredients. So you see all the veggies in there. Oh, I haven't done some, and I will chop some carrots just because I have them, and why not? But in the meantime, so this is going to go directly into our blender. Okay, so give me a second. And then, so this is like the color. So you see, with the oil and the olives, and even the carrots a little bit, it gets almost not red, it gets a little bit of lighter red color. So let me just grab a few carrots. I like to cut carrots a little small. One day I was listening for a nutritionist that talks for healthy cooking for kids, for babies, and she was making, I thought it was interesting, she said always cut these carrots not only half-wise but into quarters where you're giving them to babies, because these is the size big enough for them to get stuck in their throat so that's not a nice, pleasant thing. So now I always chop the carrots a little smaller than at least a quarter for these baby carrots. Not good for giving it to babies whole because they can choke. All right, so this little bit of carrots, I'm gonna go into my bowl. And this is it. So then now what I do is just pour this into, you can adjust a little bit the liquid, but we're gonna pour it into a, you know what, we added the bread. The bread is going to add the consistency to the soup. It's going to make it a little heartier. So this is our soup. And then you can taste it. I want to give it a little taste, see if it needs a little bit of, no, it's great. I love it. And so it's ready. You can chill this for a couple of hours. It stays well in the refrigerator, cover it in the refrigerator, but you can chill it for a couple of hours and then serve it on a nice hot summer day. But see, it's really thick. See, you can add a little bit more water if you want, or more tomatoes. I like it like this, like really, like, because it really, it thinks that you're eating like a salad, but it's really, it sticks to your ribs. It's really nice and hearty. And you see it's tons and tons of nutrients in it, fiber, tons of antioxidants. So there you go. This is how you set up your gazpacho.
I have 2 dishes. We have our tzatziki, with our thing, and we have a beautiful soup.
The gazpacho soup, great.
Gazpacho, so, there you go.
So definitely try that if you want to, for a different variation, especially now that all these items that we use for cooking today are very, very seasonal. And remember, a lot of eating seasonal, it actually makes it the most of the vitamins and minerals. They really are at their fullest. So tomatoes in the winter, not so much, but now it's the time to try them out. I'm glad that you were here with us today.
So everyone, thank you for joining. I hope everyone enjoyed the class. Had a great class today, excited. And we hope to see you in the near future. And please stay safe, keep hydrated, and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.